I've got a question for you.
Oh yeah.
Are there more doors or windows in the world?
More doors or windows in the world?
Yeah. What are there more of?
I gotta think about that one. Um, would you want to say windows, right? Because there's loads of windows and you can see them everywhere. And a house has one or two doors in comparison to windows. But I guess the bigger question is there is there more doors with windows or windows with doors? Windows that are doors. I think that's what will make or break that.
Yeah. My initial one was doors because well, I would say like everything has like houses have probably at least two doors.
Yeah.
Cars have doors, but then those doors have windows. Most house doors potentially have windows. Back doors do, but then you've got cupboard doors, wardrobe doors. I guess
Yeah.
drawers are drawers, but anything with a door
Yeah.
handle or a doorknob. Like these two behind in this room, there's four plus the door, and there's only two windows.
But this is why I would lean towards doors because cars have doors, they also have windows, but cupboards, most of them have doors and no windows.
Yeah, but then here's one. So like airing cupboards, stuff like that, doors, no windows. But then if you go into like a shopping centre
Yeah,
and you go into a shop, like the door is glass probably, so it's open anyway. But then
it's got
any
windows.
doors
Yeah,
within that shop, going through to changing rooms or going through to
yeah,
staff rooms, there's gonna be no windows there because it's in a
no,
building.
that is a good point.
Prison, but then prison has. If you're in solitary, you've
Do
still
you
got.
class bars as yeah? Well,
Yeah,
I think yeah. Do their doors have windows there?
I mean, yeah, the
Mm,
bars you can see through. So I'm guessing is a window see through or is it a pane of glass or like
no,
plastic?
it's got to be an actual window.
Okay,
It can't just be a gap in something.
toilets. Like a lot of toilets probably don't have windows, but they've got doors.
Doors, no windows. Yeah, but then there's no windows that have doors, but then there's doors that have windows. I think that's where I get hung up. So maybe it is
Yeah,
windows.
I don't know. What do you think? Let us know in the
Oh,
comments. Doors or windows?
yeah. Yeah, that one's going to need to go out to the wider public, I think.
Yeah. Like the more you think about it, like I was like, what about shops and all the stuff where you're inside, so, like
Yeah,
um, what else would have doors? Like if you're in a changing room, there's toilet doors,
yeah, yeah.
cubicle doors.
Yeah, so many things have doors that wouldn't have windows. Cupboards inside your house that you wouldn't have windows on it.
Bathroom
But then I
cabinets.
guess it's does like behind me, is that two doors and two windows, or are we counting all the panes as a window?
Hmm.
Because if you count all the panes, there's like one, two, three, four, five, six windows there to two doors. If you're counting the doors, the windows, open windows as doors.
Yeah, because you're not just counting windows that can open, are you? Because like these two, one opens, one
No.
doesn't.
But then does something have to be able to go through? What makes it a door? Because those two behind me arguably are just windows because you don't walk through them.
Hmm.
So are they doors or are they just big ass windows?
But what's the product called? Are they called patio doors or like
Yeah, I guess it's well, no, because it's called a Juliet balcony, right? So, and you can't go through it. They technically are just to look through.
But you could, I mean, you could jump out a window. You could open those and jump out.
Yeah, but you can jump out a window, you can jump out a door.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that one's up for the comments, that one.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know either way.
Talking about doors and drawers, um, I've entered my DIY dad, not quite a dad yet, but a DIY
Midlife crisis.
era. Yeah, I've been going around the flat because we decided that we're not going to sell for the moment and we're going to stick around for a bit. So trying to make it as nice and habitable as possible. So I've been putting up some shelving. We had a new TV, so I put that up and had to move the old one into the bedroom, which is too big, arguably.
How big is it?
Too big for the bedroom. So it's like a 43.
Okay.
But it's just very big in that room. Our new one's a 50. I would have liked a 55. Definitely could have fit a 65 on the chimney breast. But yeah, 50 was what we went for. But the bit I had to get my head around was all of these the new types of TV. You initially just think, okay, it needs to be 4K and just good. But then there's all this UHD and OLED and mini LED and QLED, and obviously there's a scale to it, which I found out once I started researching it. So we picked up a nice little mini LED 50 HD, 50 inch. It does the trick.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare to mount on the wall.
With those tellies, like, there's so many options, but then if you're buying it just to watch terrestrial telly, like BBC HD looks trash anyway, but there's nothing there that's in like over 60 hertz, or there's nothing there that like requires 4K. If you're watching like Disney Plus or like Netflix, and then you have to pay for the 4K one, or like you pay for the cheap plan. So you can buy this telly, spend thousands on it, and then not actually utilize it. If you're gaming on it, that's different. If you've got like a PS5 or PS5 Pro or PC or something, you can utilize it. But then like, I feel like when you go buy a telly, they just like wow you with all these numbers. You get it home and you're watching fucking CBeebies on it, and you're like, I'm not even using it for what I should be using it.
So we were fucking watching Love Is Blind on it the other day.
In 4K?
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe. But like back in the day, you'd buy a TV and then whatever you were using on it, like it was a Blu-ray player, it was automatically going to be the best you could get for that. But like you said, now with streaming, you've got to unlock its full potential. So like I've got to pay, I don't know how much it is now, £20 a month on Netflix just to get 4K? Like Disney, I think, is standard. But even then, like I was watching Thor the other day to try and see what it all looks like properly, and it didn't feel like it was super high quality.
The problem with the MCU movies is like they're so grey. So like they're so, if you watch it now I've said it, like you'll watch it and you'll be like, they're just so dark. The exception is Thor Ragnarok.
So that was why I watched that.
Yeah, and that's like popping colour, and like that's like really bright. But when we moved into our first house, I actually got a telly off one of our close friends, and he worked with a TV manufacturer at the time, so he got like mad discount on it. And I ordered a 65-inch telly, and Han didn't kind of get what that was. She was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And it turned up one night, and she was like, oh, is that the dining table? This fucking big box. I was like, no, that's a telly. And she went, sorry. And I put a telly up in the living room we were in, was tiny, and it just dwarfed it. And now where we are, it's like the people before us built like a chimneyette kind of thing, and it fits perfectly. But I always wanted a bigger telly, and she was like, nah, there's no point because it's not going to fit. So then I went on Amazon and bought a projector for the garden.
Yeah, nice.
But then like, we'll sell there, and you can put it like 100-inch. Yeah,
for sure. That's what I mean. Like, the projectors are great. They're cheaper and get good image from it as long as it's daylight, as long as it's nighttime. Because if you're trying to watch it during the daytime, it's an absolute nightmare. I bought one years ago.
That's why I loved the World Cup times this year, because like England game, there was one that was 8 and there was one that was 9. And the 9 o'clock one, like the 8 o'clock one was, I think it was early enough in the year type thing for it to be all right. But the 9 o'clock one, we sat in the garden and watched it, and it was like perfect for
Yeah.
that. But talking to tellies and mountain, I want to hear your struggles. But one of my mates moved into his new house a few years ago, and he was dating this girl, and he'd been sitting there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and she was round his, and she was round the back of his telly. I think she was like plugging in a HDMI or something.
Oh God.
But his telly was on an arm that pulls out from the wall, so it was like fully extended. Yeah. There's tension on it, and as she's come back, she's caught the telly with the corner of her shoulder, and even like the housing developer that he used to, I'm not going to name them, but they're renowned for better. Like the walls are made of cardboard, and she just ripped this telly out the wall, and the arm came out. It just left a hole in the plasterboard. The telly smashed. Like there wasn't glass everywhere, but it did that thing where it like splinters so that you hit it and it just like
all the
spiderwebs.
Colour runs. Yeah.
Safe to say they're not together anymore, but like 4 weeks in, and she's smashed his brand new telly and ripped a hole in the new build wall.
Yeah. I mean, I was having my struggles with putting the TV up, but at least because for the most part we're solid brick because it's like a 50s to 70s build. So, but yeah, like I didn't have any of the issues with finding studs and whatever that crap. I don't know if you have to do that in our buildings. I know the Americans do.
We have to find studs in ours. Ours is wood frame house with like a brick outer layer. So you have to get it in the wood, get it in the wood. Otherwise, you're just using like really thick, really long plugs.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't have to worry about any of that. I just drilled straight into brick. I mean, here in the living room is like a flue, like a ventilation flue. So that just went straight through. I did have one bit trying to put the arm up in the bedroom. I got through about 40-50 mil, and these bolts were huge that had to go into it, 10 mil width, and I don't know, they were like 70 long or something like that. And I got through like 50, and then it just went straight through. And I was like, oh shit, I might have just gone straight into the kitchen here. Can't see any evidence of that. So I'm guessing there's a cavity.
Yeah.
But scary nonetheless. And I was going in, I only had an 8 mil bit, so I was trying to swirl it around to make the hole bigger. I could feel a bit of resistance. I was just trying to ignore it. I was like, if I've hit a cable or something, I'm screwed.
I'll know about it soon enough.
Well, this is the thing. All the electrics are still working, so fingers crossed. But the projects continue, the DIYs, and we got lots of plans to renovate and try and get things up on walls and stuff like that to maximize space.
Nice.
But all fun.
Did you get the telly installed early enough? I know by the time this goes out, we'll probably be a couple of weeks late, but did you have it up early enough to watch SummerSlam on, or anything after SummerSlam?
No. Most of my WWE watching is on my phone at the moment, because unless I've got some time to myself where I put it up on the TV, but those sorts of times it's I'm just watching it on my phone, walking around the house or doing chores. But it was an interesting one.
I will say, up until SummerSlam, I was getting bored. They were pushing the same people, same stories. Didn't really know where the bloodline stuff was going. Since SummerSlam, apart from one bit at the end of Raw this week, I've been hooked. Yeah. I've been back in. I've been like, the matches at SummerSlam, night 2 over night 1 were solid. Like Femi Lesnar, Reigns Rollins, like the Chad Gable Intercontinental Championship win, which in my opinion was ruined by the hometown mascot getting in the fucking ring with his family. I think
he was doing a drink sponsor in the middle of it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, like they're selling ad space everywhere, which, I mean, people hate, but that is what it is nowadays. Like Spider-Man Brand New Day was a fridge full of the beer that Tom Holland owns. It's subliminal advertising.
For me, that's acceptable. Is like, it's in the film, like it could be part of the world. I don't really care. But like, you're shoehorning in some advertisement into the middle of like a major event.
Yeah,
Like,
and like someone's getting tombstone
it's
pile
supposed,
driver onto a Mountain Dew logo. You're like, this is a bit much.
we know it's not 100% real. Obviously, they still get hurt, and there's a lot of athleticism to it. But we know it's partly scripted to whatever percentage it is. And you want to be involved in that final thing. And then they just go, here's a drink that we're sponsoring, and there's a mascot in the background. You're like, oh, go away.
Yeah, the whole stuff with Prime, I didn't mind that because it was like to the side. It was next to the announce desk. There was a tower with Prime in it. But yeah, there's
and the big Prime logo on the thing. But that opened the gates, didn't it? That was the first one they allowed, because obviously he was in WWE, but now it's
everyone.
The cushions on the turnbuckle, everything's just branded up, and there's like 10 logos just on the mat alone.
So like WWE, if you're watching this, we're not against it. If you want us to chuck our logo in, I mean, you can put it on right on Sol Rooker's butt cheek if you want, just right there.
I want it on Obafemi's butt cheek, actually.
Anyone's butt cheek. I'll take Otis and Tozawa.
I want that rear view of him dumping someone.
Just him doing this to the ring in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Made by us.
No, I want a rear view of him walking down to the ring, we could put those two images of our faces, the caricatures of our faces on each cheek.
QR code just in the middle, on the crack.
Just so they're bouncing either way. Like this.
Scan the QR code. Sign up for the pod.
So, happy with Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental Championship?
Yes. Yeah, that'd be solid.
Yeah, I like that they're turning and pushing him a little bit.
I think they watched him with El Grande Americano turn a fucking awful idea into Mexico's best feud was between an American and a German. Yeah. There was not a Mexican involved in it, and then even their like lackeys in the groups weren't like, it was mental. And then they've gone, okay, let's push this guy finally.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was probably one of the best. Or it was corny, and it was what it is, but it was probably one of the best like storylines at the time. Like, everything else was just getting a bit stale.
They're pushing AAA big, aren't they? Because obviously last week Ray was at the end going, let's have a chat to Reigns, and now it's come out that like there's a tournament for Reigns to defend his title in AAA. He's never going to drop the title there, but putting him on that show in the main event against
the crossover.
Him and Penta, that'd be match of the year.
You reckon?
That'd be disgusting if that's who they push to the final.
Yeah, it's just like, how does that work? Penta being the high flyer and everything that he is, against a man who is very much slammed to the ground. And
but if you look back on like one of Lesnar's best feuds, recent sort of last 10 years, was AJ Styles. AJ Styles is sort of a high flyer against Lesnar. Like, you can tell the finish a mile off. Like, Penta's going to have him on the ropes, and then he's going to go for like an aerial move, and Reigns is going to spear him out the sky.
He's just going to grab. Oh, you go spear him out the sky. I was just imagining in my head. I was like, what sort of move could they set up? And if Penta goes for his finishes, he walks along the ropes.
Yeah.
Right. So he jumps and he just catches him. As spear works better, but I'm imagining him catching him, twisting him, and just throwing him down.
Powerbomb, the Shield style, a la Shield.
Just put him through the But I think you're right. I think a spear out of the sky is definitely better.
You made an interesting point just before we started recording, and I wanted to like circle back to it. Is on this week's episode, there's obviously the face-off between Breakker and Femi, which is going to be money, but like, just my 2 cents on it, they're pushing it too early. There's no big pay-per-view to push it for.
No.
You want that for Mania, SummerSlam. It's probably going to headline one of the Saudi ones. It's probably Crown Jewel, if I'm honest. But But you were talking about an interaction backstage
The interaction backstage
with Heyman and Breaker.
Oh, Heyman and Breaker. Yeah, so it's like obviously they're setting it up to transfer Heyman to push over, which makes sense. I mean, that comes part and parcel with the mantle being handed over to Obafemi at SummerSlam.
But
Like,
this is where I'm probably going to disagree with you. So
oh really?
you look at who Heyman's managed. Bar CM Punk, they've not been great on the mic. Breaker was finding his footing on the mic, managed by Heyman. Obafemi is already levels above 90% of the roster on the mic. He doesn't need a talker. And
so you think he's a filler? He's in there to do what the Beast can't.
I think he is gonna manage Breaker, but he is gonna try and get Breaker to break off from the Vision.
Yeah.
To like fuck those guys off, and then he's trying to like motivate him against Femi. He might leave him if he loses to Femi, but I don't think that Femi needs the manager. He just
No.
like it weakens him by having someone do his talking.
I like that. I hadn't thought about that. Is that he's very much the talker, and yeah, that's the only thing that Breaker annoys me with is I find him awkward when he's up there. Like if he's like cussing someone down and telling him how he's going to beat him up, I'm like, I just don't believe you. Like I do want, I think he suits that sort of type that stays a bit quiet and just does the business.
Yeah, and I just don't know who can take the loss right now. It's probably going to be Breaker because he's called off.
Yeah.
But do you build him back up to take another loss? Femi.
It won't be Femi. No way. There's no way they could have him lose to Breaker after the win at SummerSlam.
After kicking out of a tombstone onto the wood.
There's just no way. Like are you just gonna what's it gonna take him? Like 5 spears to put him down?
Like an F5 to Femi, like that size falling from that height is going to hurt. Getting rugby tackled by a guy half your size, half your weight, that's just running fast, it's just going to wind you. It's not going to finish you.
And that's the thing is, it looks good. His spear looks good.
He gets speed.
But does it do that much damage? Arguably, Roman Reigns' spear to me looks worse.
Yeah, and Jey Uso's is fucking awful. Jey Uso's is like, I'm going to hit you with my forearm.
Yeah.
You know what? Let us know in the comments who has the best and worst spear in WWE.
Yeah.
Breaker's up there.
He is up there. That speed is great, and it looks good because of the speed. But then, Reigns just looks heavier. It looks like it really hurts.
Yeah.
So, what else is there to talk about that? Was the Rollins Reigns storyline ended?
Yeah, I think he's off. I think Rollins is off telly for a while now. They've done the tribute to the Shield with the mask. His entrance was, he started off with the Shield music, came to the ring. That for me is done now. You can't run that back because they've used up the I've never beat Rollins storyline. What was the point in running it back? They've moved on, which I think they have.
So my question is then, does it open it up for a Shield reunion? Because the bloodline stuff's getting thin. You just saw on Raw that Solo's even just like, count me out of this shit. Like, and I think Reigns has to come out of it as well. And is there a line where the bloodline turn against Roman and he comes back to help him. And when does that happen?
So when you initially started asking this question, I was going to say no, but I think that's a very interesting point. I don't think the Shield is needed right now because the Shield built them up. They're all now established. Do they need each other? It would only be in a outnumbered situation. I'd potentially say that for war games. If you're going to do a Shield reunion, you bring back Dean Ambrose, John Moxley in that situation. But what you're saying about Solo, I think Solo's one of the best baby faces on Raw at the minute, and they've just essentially neutered him by putting him back in the bloodline because he lost the match. He's now got to join. I think Reigns is building a bloodline that is probably half full of people that don't want to be there. So if he continues adding people to it...
Well, what happens with the bloodline is interesting because obviously you've got Zilla Fatu has just debuted on NXT. He's a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
And how quickly would they try and push him through NXT just as a formality and then put him straight in? Or does he need a bit of development there?
I think he'll need a little bit of development. I think he came back and he instantly targeted the title. Yeah. But is it a red herring? Are they going, no, we'll save that, and then push him at a premium live event? But yeah, it's starting to gain pace a bit. I don't know how the Solo stuff's going, but if Solo has joined the bloodline, he needs to stay the character he is. Like, did you see the bit in Raw where Jey Uso's like, "This is your warning shot," and then it just pans to Solo, and he's like, and he just turns around, he's like, "You all good back there? Anyone get shot?" And he's just like ripping the piss out of Jey, and he just his facial like animations when he's just sarking someone out.
He's in his own. He's like entered his own zone now. Like
without a group.
I think putting him into the bloodline is just a mistake. It can't. The thing is, I was always defending Jey. I like Jey, but right now I'd much rather a Jacob Fatu, Zilla Fatu, and Solo as like this.
New
Solo
bloodline.
is the head, and then these two is just these beasts that are coming in and wrecking everyone.
But haven't they, with the MFTs and like,
they did the wrong people.
They did the new bloodline, which Solo was running over on SmackDown, and he brought Jacob in, and then Jacob left Solo.
So maybe it is they collapse the bloodline and just do something else.
Yeah.
But then again, I think putting Jacob in there as well is a disservice. He had a load of momentum, and I feel like they've just killed it.
Yeah. So, following on nicely from WWE, you were saying before record, you got some quick fire questions. One specifically about WWE.
Yes. Okay. So, my question is, I've got some unpopular opinion kind of questions. It's going to be, who is the unpopular, my opinion, popular opinion, I think, of a wrestler who should be just dismissed for a while because he's boring the hell out of me, and another one that I think needs a major push. First is the one who needs to be dropped is Gunther. He bores me. He's always bored me. I never understood it. I got back into it a couple of years ago, and although the little trio that he had was entertaining, I don't get this whole big push of him being the legend killer or the retirer or whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then the push is Dominic Mysterio.
They've called him off massively, haven't they? Just with this Danhausen stuff.
I mean, the Danhausen stuff is entertaining, but it's not great. And I think he built such, like, he couldn't get on stage without being booed. He couldn't get in the ring without being booed. And now everyone loves him. His image is incredible. Like, the whole thing's been built up. And I think he needs a major push aside from the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because the Judgment Day shit is boring. I think it needs to be a Bonnie and Clyde thing with Dominic and Forgetting her name.
Liv.
Liv, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Separate them and let them do a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Because they've teased Liv splitting off from the bloodline for ages with Roxanne and the big lady. Can't remember her name.
But that's my thoughts,
Okay.
and I think that should happen within the next year. I think Dominic should get a big fight. Who is it that he beats? I don't know. I think you had a thought about this.
So the person I need dropped from just WWE for ages, which is going to be really hard now that someone's come back, is Sami Zayn. I'm just like, every reincarnation of his character is someone that's been screwed over. The best version of him was in the bloodline, and then they had this chance to capitalise on him. When he left the bloodline, he hit Reigns with the chair, and they could have put the title on him in Montreal, and they didn't. He just needs to go away for a bit, and he needs a haircut, and he needs a shave.
He needs to do something, because the good guy routine is running thin, and now that you've got KO, who pretty much does the same thing of moaning about not getting the opportunities, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, and the person that I think we should push, I was originally going to say Solo, but that's been, I think they need to push him as a babyface and just let him fucking aggravate people and just get on the mic, and I reckon he tears people apart on the mic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that entrance at Raw was incredible. Okay, fine. I've got one other question.
Okay.
Because we haven't done conspiracies in a while, it kind of leads into that. Time Machine, one rule. You can travel to any point in history, but you're only allowed to do one specific mundane thing: buy a coffee, ask someone a question, or take a photo. Where do you go, and what's the one thing you do?
Okay. That's, for me, I'm going back and I'm having a pint with Henry VIII. I reckon Henry VIII is a good pint, and I want to get the down low on like everything that came along with the beheading and all his wives, and just what it's like back there. Like, is the paintings of him really what he looked like? Is he? I reckon he's an absolute geezer. But then you're in a pub with him, you're having a few pints. I reckon he gets in a fight as well.
Okay, that's a valid one. I like that. Mine is to go back about 10,000 years to Egypt and see if the pyramids were there pre-Egyptians.
Okay.
So take a picture, prove it. I mean, if I go back to Egyptian time, the pyramids are there, and I don't necessarily find out who built them. But if I go back 10,000 years and they're there, then it's proven that they were built by someone else.
Okay. But what if...
And the Egyptians just did shit with them.
You went back to the point in time where the Egyptians were supposedly building them. Because then you'd see that they built them, but then you'd also see how they were made, which is like one of the biggest mysteries.
But then it's either a confirm or not. Like, I've either confirmed that the Egyptians built them, or they're there already and I still don't know who built them. But I go back 10,000 years, and if they're there, then it's proof that the Egyptians didn't build them, and maybe you'll see who did.
Fair enough.
I think that's... and off the back of that then, gonna cover today, but as of recording this, it is proven to be not true, which is a Reddit thread that was going about for a while saying that at 2:30 on
Wednesday.
Today, Wednesday, the 12th of August, obviously not the day that it's being recorded, that we were going to lose gravity for 7 seconds, and that NASA knew about it and they were building up. It was all connected to the eclipse that's going to happen this evening.
Okay.
And that we were going to lose gravity. But whilst recording this, we have gone through that point in time, and at no point has either of us raised up out of our chair for a while.
Imagine if that happened and we just started floating, and I thought it was tomorrow, so like if that happened to me, I'd be shitting myself. You'd be like, oh, this is it's meant to happen, but we're just going to die.
That would have made a good clip. It would have made a good clip. Or this podcast never would have went out.
Yeah.
I think we need to look at some other conspiracy theories later in the day, but I thought I'd chuck that one in there.
Yes.
But I think that's a pod.
I think that is because you've got to get off.
I do. Very swiftly.
You'll go have your willy looked at by the doctor.
Not quite.
Not quite, but
my bum hole.
Your bum hole. Okay. You got Epiphany's face tattooed on the bottom.
Yeah. Around the ring piece.
Right. Appreciate you guys watching the pod. Make sure if you watch on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It is free. It helps us massively. Turn on notifications so you know when an episode goes live. We're trying to put clips out daily on TikTok and Instagram, so search 30-Year-Old Kids Pod on there. Drop us a follow. Let us know what there is more of in the world, doors or windows. And yeah, that's been a pod. I'm David.
I'm AJ.
And we will catch you next Friday. See you later.
See you next week.